privatisation of British Rail took place between 1994 and 1997.
Annoyed me a little bit. Didn't really want to have to keep doing it with all the restarts, so I decided I'd do it today, which is now what I'm doing. So hello. The only bad thing is now everyone's ready to release their yeah, I know it is. I'll fix it now. It's the setting up. Every time. Don't be surprised if I don't address numbers. I'm not, I can jump in if you want. Don't be surprised if I, like, in regards to the stream, don't give numbers as to hello, however they pop up. Because one place tells me it's 8, one place tells me it's 0, one place tells me it's 5. But what the fuck has happened here? Okay, that's a bug report. Let me just send that in, and then I'll get the stream back. One sec. Where is the fulfilled Discord? Here's the fulfilled Discord. Here, bugs to fix. Okay, that should bring it back now. Give it a minute to catch up. I'm watching my output. Okay, good. Yeah, it's quiet because I turned it down to see if that fixed it. If I turn it up, does the whatever the funny noises get louder? Anyway, so let's I think so. I don't know really. I kind of just bought everything and I'm driving it as I picked it randomly. There's no logic behind it. It's not I want to show off a specific area. That's Victoria Harbour. That's one of the few stations I can name without having to check the sign. Because it's literally the only one which I've had drilled into my head since I say it like it's like I've watched that. Anyway, hello. So British Rail. I'm going to be reviewing this while playing it. Is the mic any better if I do this? Is it still crap? Is the audio still crap? Or is it just him? Because he's the only person saying this. It could always just be his issue. I like how I've said this instead of checking it myself, which is what I'm now going to do. Hello file. That's a close enough stop. We're 3 cars anyway, so it's fine.
The train now approaching platform 1.
Don't be surprised if now that echoes out. No, there's no...
Regional. Service to Victoria Harbour.
Tesco,
Calling out
headset,
Victoria
I can't
Harbour.
hear any funny noise.
This train is formed of 2
From my
coaches.
phone anyway.
We are sorry that the 1548 regional service to Victoria Harbour has been cancelled.
Okay,
We
live
apologise for the
review.
disruption
I'm
to
crap
your
at
journey
these.
today.
My day is good. So, what do I think of it? Because I know people are going to ask me this question. Is it better than SEO? And I already had someone ask me this when I tried to do this yesterday before the game was shut down for themselves. So, do I think it's better than SEO? Yes and no. I think it can be better than SCR, and I think as it stands currently, it's got some quite unique mechanics. I'll show a couple of them in a minute. So for example, the station we've just passed, its timetable, just as it says on the sign, so it's saying open weekends. The level crossings themselves actually work, and that board should probably come out of the way. Anyway, got a much cleaner GUI. The SCR GUI I think sometimes feels a bit like a gun. There we go, that's good. Just plunk it all on there and hope it looks alright. Here it's nice, it's clean, it's small. Precisely as you need it to be. But trains I also think are better. However, they are a little bit more buggy with the internal screens. But I've already mentioned this and they're going to redo it. So I don't know. Has it gone back to being crap? What the hell happened to my mind doesn't tell me what happened to my mind. Don't tell me that now I've checked if it's okay, it's gone back to normal. I see what's happening. Okay, is that any better? Or is it now just me shouting and it's become just as fuzzy?
Okay, hello, is that any better now? Is that any better, or has it just gone back to being crap?
Lita, this train is full. 3 coaches.
God, do I need to pull forward? Ah, am I not? Oh yeah, because the marker's really far back here, isn't it? It should say that rather than wait for the guard to tell you that you're not doing things right. Okay, is that okay now, or do I need to draw forward again? There we go. Anyway, so, hello, I hope you can still hear me. Can you? I don't know, I hope so. I'm sure someone will tell me if they can't. I could check it, actually. I probably should check it. Yeah, okay, good, that's worked. Anyway, so, what do I think of it? So going back to what I was saying, I think it can beat SCR very easily. I think the thing is, the map that they've got is very good, but it's also very small. Now there's plenty of expansion points, and I'm not going to say now I need to see it because it's small or anything. Because it's not. It's a good game. And the map itself is great. Would I like it to be a bit bigger? Sure. If it can be a bit bigger, that would be nice. But I do think, from what I've heard, there are plans to change the way routing works, and that will come with a bigger map. And then you've also got things like the 90, etc. And I think it can do very well. I think it needs a bit of work. I like the product as of today as a release product, and I think it's got lots of little features like ticket checks. It's got the nicer GUI, it's got a better system, I think, for liveries, etc. However, I don't think it's going to replace SCR, because, for example, you can't dispatch, you can't signal. Whether it'll be added in future, I don't know. And I think if it is, well, then maybe it could be SCR, but there'll always be people who want to signal, who want to dispatch, who won't play this game because they can't. So I don't think it's ever going to truly be able to replace SCR or GCR, but I think it can very easily become another one of those headline train games. I mean, it already kind of has. Everyone's released a video on it, more or less within 24 hours of its release. I mean, that's quite good. I mean, that's very good, actually. That's what most people would probably want. I have noticed on that note of the 508, I want to double check something and then I'm going to explain something to you. See, the issue with trains like the class 508, which is what I wanted to be sure of, is how many rails do you see here? Oh wait, there's 2. The 508 needs a 3rd rail. Will they add 3rd rail? Again, I don't know. Would I like them to have 3rd rail trains? Sure. But again, I'm not entirely certain, because the thing is, you've got to remember, this isn't like SCR. It doesn't have a, I mean, it's got a decently sized development team, but as in, it doesn't have the freedom to do what it likes. SCR thrives on picking elements of realism and then mixing it up. For example, the fact that the trains which use the overhead line equipment don't have a pantograph. Although, interestingly, I don't think I've seen any overhead line. Actually, no, I have. I've seen lots of it. I'm talking crap. But there is a pantograph button here. Not sure what that's for. The thing is, though, as well, this game, I mean, there's things like, let's say, the class 90. I think it's a 90, it could be a 91. I don't remember the difference. One of you is going to shout at me for it. I mean, it's something new, it's something SCR doesn't have. I think this game's got the advantage. It knows what it wants to do. SCR's kind of gone train, and just put them all in there. And the issue there is that it's not realistic by any standards. I'm aware they want mesh rails, but if it wasn't obvious, the rails currently are parts. It's all parts. It's all been done, and I'm aware kind of it's what's made games like this show up, because it's set the scene, it's set the standard. And I think SCR's got a place in history, but with the recent events of the community and some of the more questionable updates recently, I do think it is starting to dwindle. And I think as well, this is now me talking as a content creator, if it wasn't obvious, this channel's been quite dead recently. There's 2 main reasons for that. Firstly, I'm now shifting over my RCC focus to the Roblox Transport Festival, because quite literally, that has to be done as soon as possible so I can find all my mistakes and the bugs I've caused and fix it. In fact, I've redone the same GUI 4 times to slowly fix things, and it's slowly getting there. But there's always the same thing that keeps breaking, and I mean, that's why I'm doing this today, because I'm taking a break from it. And I want to get that done as soon as possible to make sure we can stick to the release date. Although I haven't technically publicly announced that yet, so I'm probably fine. But anyway, so that's why there's less content from me, and then Scar has his GCSEs, and the rest of the team are quite inactive. I'm not going to get into the politics of RCC, because that's not what this is about. But I do think, going back to what you said about the details are much better, undoubtedly. There's a couple of things, such as the announcement. Let's say when I turn around here, the first time it'll say the train standing at platform 3, the second time it'll say the train arriving at platform 3. That is wrong for two reasons. Firstly, the train arrives before it's at a platform, and secondly, I'm already there. I'm not really arriving anymore. But that's due to the announcement system, which, just like the internal system, and that is a bug, I think, ahead with the triangle, just like the internal system, sorry, not the internal announcement system, it's pending a rework. What route should we do? Someone pick a route, please. Pick a route. Someone. There's 5. Someone pick a number from 1 to 5. I don't actually. Oh, I do have a Brutaliten. There you go. They said it first. That's why I'm doing it.
The train now standing at platform 3 is the 1554 regional service to Leeton, calling at Marion, Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, Wadbury Castle, Russell Lane, Broomfield, Marion, and Leeton. This train
I
is
don't
formed
think as
of
well that
3
what this game's
coaches.
got right, which I think SCR could learn from. It's
The train now
community
approaching
engagement.
platform 3 is the
It's
1554
set
regional
out
service
from the
to
start.
Leeton,
It's
calling
been
at
quite
Marion,
transparent,
Whetstone,
and it's
Abbey
told
Road,
you,
Longbow,
look,
Wadbury Castle,
you're getting a
Russell
buggy
Lane,
game.
Broomfield,
We've
Marion,
tried our best.
and
There will
Leeton.
be issues.
This
We'll
train is
fix them as
formed of
quickly as
3
possible,
coaches.
and it's got on with it. And when they identify bugs, they're fixed quickly, unlike SCR,
The
which
train
waits
now approaching
years.
platform
Now,
3 is the 15.
is that ever going to change?
Service
Perhaps.
to Leeton.
Perhaps there will be points in time where bugs aren't fixed instantly.
Abbey Road, Longbow, Wadbury Castle,
Is that a Matty advert? Bloody hell. Anyway, there was an ad board behind that as well, but I asked for that to be removed because you can't actually see it. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's got lots of potential, and I think the management of it's right. It's got a lot more community engagement. It's done it properly. Unlike SCR, it doesn't lock the channels when you say something that is considered criticism, and they don't lose their I do, however, think it's going to struggle for the same reason it's going to thrive, because lots of people won't understand certain things because they have got used to SCR. Now, a minor thing here is I was looking at Pentastic's review earlier, because I find people's reviews, I look at them and I think, ooh, that's a point I want to make, ooh, that's a point I disagree with. And while he was guarding, I'll show you guarding in a minute, it might be more obvious, because he's so used to SCR, where it gives you a local door, and it says, here you are, chum, and I'm going to overshoot here, and just, you know, get on with it. He understood the concept of pick the local door, but then he didn't understand you had to click the unlock panel button. Now, okay, that's a minor thing, but this game now actually tells you off for speeding. It actually has scores and whatnot. Like, it's done properly. RCC advert, you should subscribe if you haven't already. I just feel the need to plug it now it's come up. But yeah, no, and as well, it's got, I mean, look, for example, it's got adverts. Now this is an extra income, and you could say, oh, they're being sellouts. SCR's adverts, okay, are unrealistic numbers to get to destinations for journeys you'd probably never actually do. on really random routes just to make all the 4 operators seem real. So much so, the only non-operator adverts is normally Transport for Stepford telling you either A, something's gone wrong, B, we're doing a great job at not doing anything, or C, Visit Bodin unofficially stole the title and we don't like them. So this game wins on that as well. I should have made like a little table to tick off. There's the speeding penalty thing. It actually does effectively tell me off for it. And it will take away score if I don't slow down fast enough. Although, unlike GCR, which is also in its credit, it detects when you're trying to slow down, and if you're trying to slow down, but you're not at the speed, it doesn't tell you off instantaneously for not being at the right speed, and then spad you for going too fast. So that's also in its credit. So effectively, it wins aesthetically, it wins in terms of how it actually works, because it's not anywhere near as harsh. This game for me, if it continues as it is, will be effectively the definition of the next era of Roblox train games. However, it has to find a way to bring over players from other games. Currently, I think the server limit was going to be 20. I think it was set down to 16. I'm not certain. I can check because of all the bugs. And from what I understood, they do want to bring it back up when they can, but they're not going to go too high at the moment because, again, there's only a set amount of track. If they made the servers too big, I'd be spatting every 5 minutes because everyone would be following each other, and it would be like one train in, one train out. But they're 14, not 16. My apologies. I also think it wins on a signage front. It's picked up because they seem very simple, but they don't have to be complex in the first place.
16.
This is more realistic than SCR's how many colours of a rainbow can we put onto a sign. And it's got things like this. I think this talks about the old station building, which just make you feel like you are actually... It makes it more realistic because it's not so... It's got more character. I think that's the right way of describing it. It's got more character to it. I don't know, this is kind of me blabbling on and repeating the same points, so I'll start just moving on to actual gameplay in a minute. But I mean look, it's got less trains than SCR, and I think it probably always will, because SCR has been punching out a freak for the past 3 years. But its fleet are to a much higher standard than SCR overall. And how do I put this? It's still a bit finicky. I don't normally do it with mouse. I still do it with keyboard. But its actual cab is animated as well, and all the buttons in the cab work, or rather, all the ones that you can also do on the GUI work, including the emergency stop button. But I'm not going to press that because I'm not an idiot. So to answer the original question, which I first started out with, I do think it can. I do think it's better than SCR. I do think it can beat SCR. But it depends on how many people it can drag over, and it also depends on the groups of people it can drag over. Because for me, as driving experience, this is infinitely better. The only thing missing here, really, I think, is the Express, but that's coming with the 1991. It's not 9091. It is either the Class 90 or the Class 91. I don't remember the difference between the two. I don't remember which is which. Very sorry. And I think that'll bring in the Express to it. And I think that will then kind of not really complete the game, but that'll complete the effects for the time being. But because the timetable's been done the way it is, because it's all effectively a pre-made timetable, so everything sticks within certain confines, I think that's again better, because it means that in terms of train congestion kind of thing, it's not like SCR where there's 37 trains going to Airport Central simultaneously that are then all cancelled because a member of train crew is now allegedly unavailable. I don't actually know if there's any cancellation announcements in this. I haven't heard any, but I don't think, because I've played this a lot when it was before release. I haven't played it much with release because I was given access to it prior, which is how I have 1,743 points. I purchased some. I'll admit that now. I didn't purchase so many that I'd buy everything and still have 1,700 left over. Thing is though as well, this has also kind of taken on the GCR mentality of kind of show the expansions before, because look, you can't walk all the expansions that are still unreleased, or at least I don't think you can, because I've looked at a couple of places when I was looking to check the catenary equipment was where it should be, and I mean I found lots of bits where the track ends past where you can see. But the good thing is, then they can expand off there, and you can already kind of see where it is. Unlike SCR, where really randomly they'll redo like 3/4 of a map to add in one switch at some random location to take you to a place you never asked for. Cough cough Willowfield. This is British Rail. Did I not put a link in the description? I'm sure I did, because I copied over the settings from yesterday. Yeah, I did. If you open the description, it's the second link. I hate to say this though, I also think the sounds are better. Is it clear I like this game a lot? I feel like now I'm like, ooh, this is perfect, it's incredible, it's fantastic, but it really is. Personally, if they had charged me Robux for this game, this is probably the only rail game aside from Itty Bitty Railway I would purchase. And truth be told, I mean, would I purchase Itty Bitty Railway today? Probably not, because it's now kind of been thrown into the corner by NACO. So yeah, I would, if I had to pay money for this, I would have paid money for it. Also, sorry, can someone tell me, because I can't see this for myself, do I have a little icon next to my name in the tab list or not? Because I remember requesting it, because I was allowed to, but I'm not sure if anyone actually read my request. I like how I'm stupid enough to keep putting on the throttle instead of braking. I don't. Okay, I've got to ask for about that again. Tesco, in a minute, when we terminate, can you grab a train and I'll do some guarding? The track bug, which I also encountered before, I have reported and I have been given a response, but it's been noted and they're looking into it. Again, they can only do so much, give them a bit of time. Although, I'll put it like this, at least it's SCR where you can actually report bugs and get them fixed. And they also give suggestions. I think it's good. I think overall the Fourth Rail development team are good. And now with this out, A, I can't wait to see the updates that come for it, and B, I also can't wait for, what is it? It's Northern Line, isn't it? Because I think if that's to the standard of this, then Applesville are going to have a run for their money. To put it quite bluntly. Also, did I mention... Actually, I'm not... I was going to say there's AI passengers, but I actually haven't seen... Oh yeah, there's one. There's two. There's a few. I'm not stopping there, am I? Whoopsie. But anyway, I think as well though, I mean look, it's got AI passengers. This is a bit like Croydon. Think about it like this. Think about how Croydon released when other bus games were starting to dwindle, and it is now kind of the most well-known and popular bus game. And I'm not saying remotely I agree with Centro, but the game itself is good. And I think this could very easily have that same effect, where it makes people effectively stop, look and listen, because they can't just do what they want anymore. There is now a standard, and they are not it. Because I think SCR has got away for a very long time with it. This is a bit slow, isn't it? Oh, it's because I'm on the other side, aren't I? He's just spudded. Whoops. Sorry, mate. The issue with trainware, okay? Railways on Roblox tend to be English. Now, this is not me saying that it's not going to do okay. But I think if we look at Streamlined and how well Streamline's done, it's done very well. But I think if you gave it a kind of a British makeover, so it was more like, let's say, not Mind the Gap, Steam Age, or whatever that game was called, I forget now, I think it would have been a lot more popular because it's of good quality. And I think Trainware is going to have the same issue, but Trainware's issue is going to be it's so realistic, I don't actually think people are going to be able to handle it on their computers. Because this one's okay, but Trainware, effectively from what I've seen, there seems to be a lot of development on quite advanced things, and I mean the demo hasn't been updated in God knows how long, and I think because of the way the development works, because it's not really a team, because it's, I think, what, 2 people, which for the most part it's only one of them really, I think Trainware can do extremely well with certain people. I do not think it's going to have as wide as an audience as SCR, or as British Rail, or as Grand Continental Railways, or even Mind the Gap, for God's sake, because it's just too finite. It's now on the audience who want a Holland train game, and who want one with all
the bells and whistles. And I'm not saying it's too good to be true. But I'm saying if they don't put it off right, they might as well not put it off at all. And as it stands currently, it's taking so long, I'm not sure that it's going to be as revolutionary as it is now by the time it releases. Because look, British Rail has AI passengers, just like it does. Now it's got the crossings. I'm sure soon enough we'll start to see. Okay, this is me kind of theorising. But I think if games now, I mean look, SCR's now finally started to add vehicles around the map. And this game's got vehicles around the map. And I'm sure soon enough, just like there's now AI passengers kind of coming in because Centro did it and Trainway did it, I'm sure soon enough there'll be some AI vehicles in
The
some
train
of the
now
games as
approaching
well,
platform.
which is one of the big
16,
things they
18,
put a lot of time
regional.
into. And he
Service
says
to
about having a
Litan,
plugin
calling
to
at
do all the
Litan.
rails,
Over.
and that's
This train is
fantastic
forward of
if he
4
does the
coaches.
rails. But the demo still hasn't been updated in like a year and a half, except for the Christmas update, whenever that was. I don't even remember. I haven't played it in such a long time because it's literally 3 stations. As for SCR, okay, and I'm going to make it very clear, I am not blaming this on a specific individual. I think BANTEC is very busy. I think ASME does some questionable things at times, but I also think lots of other people have got away with it, and I'm not saying, I'm not condemning his actions, but I do think sometimes people say, ooh, we told him off for this last time, so now let's keep stabbing him in the back. You know, mention it every time he does something we slightly don't like. And then you've got TJ, who I think tries. But again, they can only do so much. And okay, do I disagree with them locking public chats? Yes, I do. But they've unlocked the lounges, they've unlocked the lounge voice chats, they've unlocked most of that server. And people still build them up because they haven't unlocked the main public chats. Well, maybe there's more of a reason than that, than just they want to avoid discussion about Charlie. Part of it might be because then they have to do less moderation. And do I think it's a bit stupid the way moderation works? But oh, most definitely. But you have to remember, it is a very big community. And what it's got now is effectively the foundations that were given to it years ago. And you can keep adding floors to the building for as long as the foundations will hold it. But you cannot rebuild the foundations unless you knock down the building. A game like this has learnt from mistakes made by its predecessors. SCR hasn't had that luxury because it is effectively your first, I'm saying proper because the first one with interiors etc, train game on Roblox, and because of that it's very easy to target it. Do I think Charlie's done things wrong? Definitely. If the accusations are false, I'm sorry, but I do think he's done some questionable things. I think they've all done some questionable things, not to the level of Charlie, but some of their reactions to things are wrong. But at the end of the day, I think the SCR community has a lot of children in it who are a bit pedantic and will find the smallest things to nitpick. And I think that's why SCR's gone wrong. I think that's why they've had to keep their community chats locked. Because they can unlock as much as they can unlock, if that makes sense. But it comes to a point where you have to ask yourself if it's worth it anymore. Okay, so can I... Tesco, I want a guard now, if you don't mind. So if you could get a train, that would be fantastic. Well, actually, wait, let me spawn somewhere randomly. I just want to double check what he said last. Okay. Anyway, Tesco, can you get me a train to guard, please?
I think I'm on the right track. Hello. So now I can show off guarding as well, for those of you confused by my constant reference to the slightly confusing panel. The only thing I think is a shame with guards is that we can't go in the back cab, and that we can't sit down. Passengers can, we can't, but I think that's related to trains flying, from what I've been told. So I'd much rather not sit down and have be a little bit tired from standing up than be in the stratosphere. From what I understand, actually I'm not going to say it because I'm not supposed to know this. This is an SCR thing, but I'm not supposed to know it, so I'm not going to tell you. The only thing that I do have to say, the bogies are a bit laggy, but then again, unlike SCR, they do actually move properly. RCC advert again, yay! I spent a lot of money on that, on actually all of them. I bought like, I don't know, 7 slots in total. Some RCC, some for other people. Other groups I'm part of that I still wanted to know, but yeah. Anyway, so first thing I want to show off, if you can stop whenever Tesco. Any door can become the local door. Which I think is quite cool. And then you'll notice these doors don't look open. I can't open them because I'm the guard. But the AI passengers can. They walk up to it and they release it, just like SCR shows you in the prototype centres wanting to do. For anyone wondering, because I know it's not advertised, the keybind for whistle is the same. The keybind for whistle is the same as the keybind for upper 4. I should also say, from what I understand, it's quite console friendly. I do think though it's a shame there's no onboard train announcements. But from what I understand, again, announcement system has been a bit buggy. Which is why I'm not being too critical. Like, if this was a game which we'd all been promised was going to be perfect, and it wasn't, I'd be losing it, because there's quite a few bugs like what we saw before. But we haven't. And I think it's right we haven't, because nothing is ever truly bug free. But I mean, at least it's not SCR, is what I'm going to say. It's a shame we can't go a bit further into the cab. That's really quite unfortunate, actually. So because we're changing ends, I'm going to release here from the front and then I'm still at the back. Just before people go on about how I've released from the wrong end or something. I also think, unlike SCR, everything's a lot more dynamic. It feels like it should feel. It doesn't feel like they've picked random stations and called it, complete. Also, this is the ticket inspection thing. Today is not the 8th of January, you idiot.
The train now approaching platform.
I know I'm not the
5
brightest
is
tool in
the
the shed.
1626
But it's
regional
110%
service
not the
to
8th of January.
Victoria Harbour, calling at Marion, Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, and Victoria Harbour. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
Now, hopefully, The AI. Well, there we go. That's what I mean by when they
The
walk
train
up
now
and
standing
release
at
certain doors.
platform 3 is the 1627 regional
He's gonna
service
go
to
for the fractal,
Ashdean,
isn't he?
calling at Marion, Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, Watbury Castle, Russell Lane, Osage Hill, Ashdean Bridge.
As a passenger,
Ashdean.
you can press
This train
release.
is formed of
Just
3
like I press to
coaches.
get on. The thing is, I can only use the local doors because of the way the guarding works.
The train now approaching platform 3 is the 1627 regional service to Ashdean, calling at Marion, Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, Watbury Castle, Russell Lane, Osage Hill, Ashdean Bridge, and Ashdean. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The train now approaching platform 3 is the 1627 regional service to
It's also not the
Ashdean,
5th of
calling
January.
at Marion, Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow,
2nd of
Watbury
January, we're going
Castle,
to
Russell
Marion,
Lane, Osage Hill, Ashdean Bridge, and Ashdean. This train is formed of 3 coaches.
Do we call it Marion? Sure, his ticket's fine. I like it. It's only 10 coins for God's sake. It's not the 3rd of January. If I go silent, it's because I've got my phone ringing, it's not the 1st of January. It is the 2nd, which I'm going to pick up now briefly. One sec. Okay, that's sorted. What happened? I take it the train despawned. You got kicked. Okay. Well, let's do a bit of a challenge.
Abbey
Actually,
Road, Longbow, Watbury Castle, Russell
I'd
Lane,
rather
Osage
another
Hill,
RCCI.
Ashdean
Hello.
Bridge, and Ashdean. This
I'd
train
rather
is formed of 2 coaches.
unlock all the stations first. What platform's the train on? What platform's the bloody train on? I should say, by the way, I mean, actually no, I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to endorse it because it is going to cause issues.
We are sorry that the 1631 regional service to Ashdean has been cancelled. This is due to a fault on this train. We apologize for the disruption to your journey today.
Now, if you look on these signs, you can see they've
The train
covered
now
a
approaching
station up,
platform
and
5
then they've
is
put
the
direct,
1632
this is probably
regional
gonna be the first
service to
express route
Victoria
when
Harbour,
they add it.
calling at Marion, Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, and
Which is why it's
Victoria
there, but it's
Harbour.
covered.
This train is formed of 3 coaches.
and then that's a line that's been closed. So What was I going to do? Oh yeah, challenge mode. So this works quite like Croydon's challenge mode, somewhat. Don't know why it made me do it twice. Anyway, I need to get to Victoria Harbour. Lovely, and I've got 16 minutes to do so. And this train doesn't seem to have a destination. Anywhere. Where does it say it's going here? I need this train, man, which is due in 3 minutes. Should also say, this isn't for today. I'll probably do this in another stream. I'll show this off while we're waiting for the train. There is, in fact, by the looks of it, a not hide and seek, but like a treasure hunt kind of thing. So if I can find clue 1, or if anyone knows where it is, I'm more than happy to do that. Should also say I quite like these kind of they're not mini signals, but like I like the smaller signal models. I like practically everything about this game. I should say I am not remotely sponsored by 4Frail or by anyone actually. If someone would like to sponsor me, that would be fantastic. No, as in all seriousness, I personally think this game's great. You can disagree. I think it's great. By every definition of the word. I also like the fact that the boards actually tell you the trains before they arrive, and they can tell you, if you look here, it can what is it? It's the first 3 trains that shows you. First, second, when third comes up instead of second. Which is another thing SCR doesn't do. So yeah, I really think the game's fantastic by every definition of a word. How many times have I said that now?
The train now approaching platform 1 is the 16.
See, the issue with this advert
regional
placement
service
is if you've got little
Litan,
information you
calling
need to
at
read and
Litan,
you're standing on the
this
platform,
train
you've got the
is for
fence kind of half
coaches.
blocking it. That looks like a bit of a mistake, but oh well. So it was at 35, now it's at 37. Am I actually going to get there in 16 minutes? Because, you know, I don't think I am.
The train now approaching platform 2 is the 1635 regional service to Victoria Harbour, calling at Whetstone Abbey Road.
Oh,
Harbour,
I see where
Victoria
I've gone
Harbour.
wrong. I
This
looked at
train
that
is
one and not
full
that
of
one.
3
Whoopsie.
coaches.
So it is the 35. The other thing which is nice is it announces it a long way away, not after you can already see the train and know where it's going. I think that's also beneficial for high-speed trains, because it's not like Stepford, where they'll tell you to stand back from the platform edge after you've already been hit by the train and are very much dead.
We are sorry that the 1637 regional service to Victoria Harbour has been cancelled. This is due to a fault on
I
this
should
train.
say though, this
We
movement
apologise for the
system,
disruption to your journey
removing
today.
the free movement, is actually... What the... Oh, it's trying to put me in a shit. There we go. I personally think it's better than FTR, because it's less buggy. And actually, having said that, the trains themselves, I haven't seen any where random carriages go for walks and end up sitting at stations they shouldn't be. Although that door should probably be shut and is probably a bug. That's another bug report. The thing is, I can't get the F9 logs because I'm not the guy driving it. And the train's despawned. Lovely!
We are sorry that 1637 regional service
Wheatstone.
to Victoria Harbour has been
I swear,
cancelled.
now,
This is due
now
to a
watch there
fault
be
on
no
this
trains
train.
to Wheatstone.
We apologise for the disruption to your journey today. We
I
are
don't
sorry
actually
that
know where Wheatstone is on the map.
45 regional service to Leeton.
Oh,
has been
okay, it's the
cancelled.
next station,
This is due
this
to a
way.
member of train crew being unavailable. We apologise for the disruption
I
to
just
your
need to
journey
wait for
today.
train then, and hopefully go one stop.
The train now approaching platform 2 is the 1639 regional service to Victoria Harbour, calling at Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, and Victoria
I
Harbour.
don't know why I keep
This
saying
train is
Wheatstone.
full of
It
2
is Whetstone.
coaches.
I feel like an idiot now.
The train now approaching platform 1 is the 1639 regional service to Leeton, calling at Leeton only. This train is formed of 3 coaches.
Oh, this thing. I should have gone to bed earlier last night. The only thing, really, in criticism I've got to say is the bugs. And really, that's not much of a criticism because it released a couple of hours ago. Well, like 12 hours ago, but still. Someone's just sent a message, but I can't see the message, I can only see their name. I'm certain that's a bug. Oh well. Something I think it'll be interesting to see though, this is now me talking from a different perspective, whether the advertisements in this game will actually bring anything to channels and people who purchase them, or whether, because like they're very noticeable, but it's whether people would actually take the time and effort to join the group or to check the channel or whatever. Also, we're now almost at 1,500, so yay. That sounded so sarcastic, I apologise. But yay! I should say I've noticed it took us like 2.5 years to get to 1k. Half a year on, more or less, we're now at 1.5. I'm sure by the summer as well, because after Sky does his GCSEs,
regional service to
I'm
Victoria
sure he'll
Harbour,
come back and
calling
do
at
more.
Abbey
Because
Road,
like he's
Longbow,
made no intention of going
Victoria
anywhere.
Harbour.
He's
This
I've
train is formed
literally
of
said to him,
2
if you
coaches.
want to prioritise studying, go for it. Because I know that's what I'm doing next year. And rest assured this, as much as I am happy to dedicate time to this channel, I am not going to prioritise grades. So prioritise the channel over grades. That's for one. That's where I draw the line. So yeah, the next 2 years there will probably be dips in content around the same time, because it'll be him this year and me next year. The thing is, he edits a lot of stuff, I stream a lot of stuff, so it's the content that disappears for the short time which you will notice the difference in. That's why History of British Rail Franchises
We
7
are sorry that the
has been
1646
pending for so
regional
long,
service
because
to
that's
Litan
kind of his
has been
series.
cancelled.
I've
We
been working on
apologise
my
for
own
the
in the back,
disruption to your
which
journey
is
today.
almost finished. We're now in, effectively we've scripted all of it, we're now in the production stage. We've got a lot of it already planned out. We're just now trying to find people to do it. So effectively, History of British Rail Franchises 7 was put on a hiatus after the summer because we were prioritising the SCR revolution, because we wanted to get there before anyone else. Turns out we did not get there before anyone else, but we did it better than everyone else, so no one actually had a go at us, unlike when, you know, Dweller did one. We did one a year and a half later, and everyone said we were copying Dwellers. I'm not going to mention that again. And no, we did not copy other people's, because before people say that, we were already doing it. It just took us a while. And then, since he wanted a break, because then he had his exams, then there was Christmas, which there is now, we will probably get something out before the summer. On that scale, I cannot tell you what it will be, and I cannot tell you whether it will be his series or the new one I'm doing with Owen. You know, the one that we keep talking about and keep not doing. I can rest assured, I have now actually got that sorted properly and stopped kicking the can down the road. I mean, we've also got Roblox Transport Festival coming up, as long as I can fix the bloody GUI. That should be quite exciting as well. Expect a trailer for that at some point soon, if I can be bothered, which I can, but you know, effort. I'd rather put the time into adding pointless little advertising screens
Service to
to
Victoria
advertise
Harbour,
RCC
calling at
things,
Longbow and Victoria
Then
Harbour. This train is formed of
make
two
a
coaches.
seventh trailer, because I've already had a couple of people offer to do it. The other thing I think, so going back to this game for a minute, the travel mode
The
is
train
something
now
which,
approaching platform
if
2
we look
is
at
the
games
1644
with a similar
regional
sort of style,
service to Litan, calling
don't
at
have, which
Whetstone,
is good because it means
Marion,
that
and Litan.
passengers
This
actually
train
travel
is
around.
formed of
There's a point to
4
being a passenger,
coaches.
not just I feel like I can't be asked, I'll get on a train and you know. I do think it's a shame that passengers have tickets via AI and players don't, although there's lots of ticket machines dotted around, and I wouldn't be surprised if some point, no, I didn't have to get off, it said challenge completed. You just have to stop there, you don't have to get off there. Either way, I'm not that fussed. I would like to see the tickets come to players, but I understand that's probably a lot more complicated, because for passengers, they get on the train, they pick random things to be wrong, and it knows whether it's right or wrong because it picks the train information. For players, you don't know necessarily which train they get in, so you've got to cater for every possibility. And the thing is that maybe you're well and good now while the map's still relatively small, keyword being relatively small, not that small actually, but if it grows in size, it will start to become a splitting headache, because that's just even more possibilities you have to cater for. You don't stop here. It's not you driving actually, is it? This guy doesn't stop here. It's weekends only service, mate. It's a Monday. It literally says it somewhere. It says it on the signs, doesn't it? If I can I zoom into one, or am I at a bad angle? There we go. Services. You should be able to see it out the window. Let me move up a bit. services only on weekends. Also, yes, you can stand up. I think he's spattered now, hasn't he? Oh no, he hasn't. Well, anyway, no, but you can stand up as well and walk along the train with no issues because of this system, which is the same way the guard works. The only thing that I think would be interesting to see is how either A, two players walk past each other, or B, how a player and a guard walks past each other. I haven't seen that. I presume you just go through each other. Although I'm still not complaining by any means. Update. Yeah. Let's see what if they've said anything, and if so, what they've said. I am, probably, yeah. I'll do a bit more driving and then I'll probably end. Is there a specific train people would like to see? I take it there's nothing specific anyone wants me to drive then. Is this going to be like a big backdrop now of trains? It is, isn't it? See, so that's one of the things I mean when I say map kind of just disappears.
This train is full. 3 coaches. The train now approaching platform 5 is the 1651
good stop,
regional
is it?
service to Victoria
Well, I mean, at
Harbour,
least I'm
calling
still on the
at
platform,
Marion,
so, you know.
Whetstone,
Oh,
Abbey
well.
Road, Longbow, and Victoria Harbour. This train is formed of 2 coaches. We are sorry that the 1651 regional service to Ashby has been cancelled.
I think I probably expected that to be told.
train now approaching platform 2 is the 1659 regional service to Ashdean, calling at Whetstone, Abbey Road, Longbow, Wadbury Castle, Russell Lane, Osage Hill, Ashdean Bridge, and Ashdean. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The train now approaching platform 1 is the 1658.
Whoops. Well, it'll make me, I'm late from this, so you know, oh well.
The train now approaching platform 1 is the 1700 regional service to Victoria Harbour, calling at Longbow and Victoria Harbour. This train is formed of 2 coaches.
Damn it. Surely AWS should trigger for that. Oh well.
The train now approaching platform 2 is the 1706 regional service to Leeton, calling at Abbey Road, Whetstone, Merion, and Leeton. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
You know, given I actually couldn't see, I think I've done a decent stop there.
The train now standing at platform 1 is the 1706 regional service to Whetstone, calling at Longbow, Abbey Road, and Whetstone. This train is formed of 2 coaches. The train now approaching platform 1 is the 1706 regional service to Whetstone, calling at Longbow.